common gun, a very popular gun. All that you really need to know about it, though, is that it has a smooth bore barrel and it has a flintlock ignition system. So smooth bore, what that means is that there's no rifling inside the barrel. Rifling, for those of you who might not know, is a series of spiral grooves that twist down the interior of the barrel. And what that's going to do for you is it's going to spin the bullet as it travels down the barrel. Now, why do you want the quarterback to spiral the football?
So it goes further.
So it goes further and so it hits its target, right? That same principle applies to that bullet. So if that bullet is spiraling down the barrel, that spiraling motion is going to stabilize it in flight. Make it fly straight, make it fly true, make it fly into the target. However, like I said, there is no rifling inside this barrel. So instead of my bullet spiraling down the barrel, my bullet rattles down the barrel and can go a number of directions. This weapon isn't as accurate as a rifled weapon. Now, that's not to say, though, that it's completely inaccurate. A lot of people tell you these guns can't hit the broadside of a barn. That's not true at all. They're just not quite as accurate as modern weapons. If I was a very good shot, and I had a nice modern rifle, and I was aiming at a target, say by those flagpoles over there, I'd have like a 1 in 1 chance, right? With this gun, it's more like a 1 in 4 chance. So not the greatest odds in the world, but not the worst either. So that's smooth bore in a nutshell. Flintlock means that this piece of flint stone right here is going to fly forward. When I pull the trigger, it's going to scrape down this steel right here, called the hammer. Now what happens when flint and steel collide? Sparks. Sparks, exactly. So that's going to throw that hammer forward, and those sparks are going to fall into the pan right here and ignite a small amount of gunpowder. That ignition is going to travel from the pan into the breech right here through a small hole called its hutch hole. It is then going to ignite the main powder charge inside the breech and make everything go boom out the business end. The way I'm going to load is I'm going to reach around in my cartridge pouch and I'm going to pull out the cartridge. What this is a paper tube filled with gunpowder, and down at the bottom there would be a musket ball. I say would because I'm not actually putting holes in any of our customers. My bosses don't like when I do that. So no musket ball, it's just gunpowder, it's a blank charge. I'm going to open this just like you see in the movies. I'm going to rip it open with my teeth. I'm going to spit that out and I'm going to pour some powder into the pan. Close the hammer, cast the gun about, and pour the rest of the charge down the barrel. Now I'm going to leave this paper tube, the cartridge, in there because it contains that musket ball. So A, I'm not going to waste the time of ripping that ball out and dropping it down individually. And B, when I ram this paper down, it actually crumples around the ball, making the ball fit tighter, making the weapon a bit more accurate. So I'm going to leave that in there. The next step is to pull out my rammer, which is a steel rod I'm going to use to push that musket ball from here down to there, if I had one. I'm going to make sure that ball is well seated. I'm going to take my rammer out. I'm going to put my rammer back. I'm going to bring the weapon up to the shoulder. Now, the most common way of engaging the enemy in the 18th century was to fire in volleys. Now, it's not the only way of engaging the enemy, but like I said, it's the most common way. A volley is when every single soldier fires together at the same time. So in order for that to happen, there needs to be a few commands so that all the soldiers are on the same page. The first command is going to be make ready. I'm going to reach around, bring the weapon to the front, and I'm going to bring it from the half-cock position to the full-cock position. What that means is I'm bringing the weapon off of safe to the fire position. The next command is going to be present. So I'm going to take very careful aim at my enemy. And the third and final command is going to be fire. So on the count of 1, 2, 3. Nothing. The powder from my pan drained out. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes the hammer doesn't close all the way over the pan to protect the powder inside, so sometimes it drains out. Very simple fix though, I'm just going to open another cartridge, pour that powder in there. Alright, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Come on, Ross.
And that's that. Now, what we are going to do is we're